Pramila, and subsequently Sean. This is Zenzi. Now my payroll name is debhelfrich.squarespace.com. But my chosen soul name is Zenzile Londolozi. I am responsible for who I've become, the protector of all living beings. My philosophical hypothesis of bio-electromagnetism sorts the hard problem of consciousness, rethinks all of human functioning, and has found the missing 3/5 of human functioning. It's life-centric thinking, which is $1 billion enter-cation empire income stream. Here, Meryl, and there's going to be a denouement to this, as we get a whole bunch of production value in the environment at a Silomar. Now, this is, as you well know, there's the Pacific, edge of the continent. This is where I've been forced to come. My autism is so severe. And it isn't like anyone else's, because I self-managed it for the first 52 3/4 years of my life. My real illness is a toxic mold exposure, which I reversed. But it was in going out in the world to tell people about my theory about how to stay alive and finding out that nobody would make time to talk to me that I discovered how an adult onset autism case study occurs. In no uncertain terms, it was almost as if a helicopter landed right over my shoulder. It was a street sweeping machine, made an illegal U-turn, scared me. The decibels first off. It's going to be difficult here with the sun. But here's the lovely surf and sand, which I know y'all know. Great location value to start. How does this 55-year-old homeless woman go to the Stanford campus and start getting people say, yes, sure, absolutely, Zenzi? It won't be that easy, but we're just in the brainstorming process right now. So, one of the things that's really interesting about me is that my brain knows how my brain functions. I posit, and I've got the list of about 5 or 6 things that, if we get my brain on an MEG at Stanford, Eagleman's lab, after my first mentor, Professor Robert Sapolsky, groks my theory of consciousness and says, yeah, she's onto something. Synchronicity is basically about the throughput of your memory banks, the only riches you ever have. Now, oh, they're picking up for the day. The day after I send you a pitch for my own documentary, Zenzing, there's a production happening right here at Silomar. This is synchronicity. Now, did I know this? Of course not. I'm just a homeless person walking on the street, walking my dog. But why did I come down here? Why did I decide to walk my dog this way? Earlier, there was a big, I guess they're bringing the people in just a motor coach, big, large tour bus sort of situation. So I was really wanting to avoid this, but my dog kind of brought me here. The thing is, we're getting a great deal of not just the timing, but the frequency of how our brains work incorrect, because we're so externally focused. My savant skill is definitely consciousness, but it is based on absolutely demonstrable interoception. And that came from all of the isolation and the societal neglect that I suffered. You know, morbid obesity is neuroprotective for autism. And there's data on that. There's so much data out there that is not being synthesized properly because the globe needs its original consulting philosopher, quantum physiology. So what I propose is that I just need a little more time than usual. My brain works in concentric circles. And so it's really difficult for me when there is a time limit. It's really difficult for me to make a Canva or a spreadsheet because all my devices are obsolete. Like, this is my work, doing a hashtag Redheaded She-Hulk YouTube channel. And of course, Redheaded She-Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, very cerebral, 1970s. We're talking about the Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno TV show, which was directed by my Carnegie Mellon alum. The rage of autism, which presents differently in each child because it comes from different environmental triggers. I am very serious that it is a real coup for us to collaborate on the ETSD theory of autism. Now, Dr. Gaetana stood up there. Meryl's, and his presentation was on point. And I had said some things. I got an ovation. I don't know if it was standing or not. It's very difficult for me to talk in microphones. You know, this YouTube channel is my own autistic communications adaptation. When I talk to other people, they want me to go slower and less dense, and you know, that would be okay if my goal in life was to be a customer service person. But I am the She Einstein of consciousness. Just a comparable. And again, for the sake of how we're going to monetize this, you look at Temple Grandin. And I'm right between her and Hannah Gadsby. And then Greta Thunberg. The four of us could eventually talk about ETSD as a theory from lived experience, and I bet we're going to get somewhere. So, the question is, when am I going to hear from you? I'm willing to sit down and negotiate. I just need to be helped staying alive because I've been at this 4 years of destitution, 3.5 years, and those are all a couple months out of date. How does a human create a $1 billion enter-cation empire while living in the Taj Mahal of homelessness? Her 1999 Isuzu Trooper. Because she knows how bodies and brains aren't split. And she can use her brain to keep her body from falling apart. And she can use her ever resilient body to keep her brain at genius level. It's a little bit hard for me to think about all the lost time, to think about that I really had the capacity to think deeply and broadly and vastly. But there wasn't anyone in my community of origin. I mean, it's how come I ended up alone? I don't have childhood memories of any secure, attached relationship. So y'all are really my family right now. I promise an immense amount of loyalty because, again, solving autism helps me. It helps all the kids, and proving my theory in an impactful, extraordinarily complex condition that really nobody has any answers for. That'd be a coup worth filming a documentary, I think. So I hope I've given you the executive right, a reasonable check. $5,000 emergency funds is a Christmas gift. And then room and board and reversing my autism expenses. We'll discuss, I pretty poorly will do the documentary myself, but a videographer and somebody who is an experienced documentary producer. Shoestring it, we're looking for a short, but I want it to be con quality. Why not? If we're going to solve autism, if we're going to get people talking about ETSD, environmental trauma stress disorder, as the triggering cause of autism. There's a lot of publicity for donations. All the documentary, we can put out clips. We can do teasers on an adult onset case. Is it possible? You guys know the clinicians and the researchers who, will want to collaborate on this. So why by Stanford is then, I'll split my time working as much as needed on the autism Zenzing documentary, and then working on establishing with neuroscience and philosophy and biology and everywhere at Stanford the foundations of what bio-electromagnetism means to the future. It's really the next neuroscience, and it's really I don't give my IP out for free on the internet, so I do a little she-spinxing, but I promise, you can't explain the most complex thing in the universe, which is the human organization. You can't. I can. But the words won't mean anything. That's the challenging bit about this, is I have to go in and use the philosophical method to highlight a number of faulty, flawed, and fraudulent paradigms of the Western thought tradition. For instance, Nikola Tesla and he's really a very autistic AF as well. And, also the reason we don't have free energy, because I can explain the Bordencliff Towers. Bordencliff? Yeah, see? There's a glitch, it's all based on childhood, I can explain to it, that what I'm saying in my mind goes too fast for the capacity of my mouth. We're fixing it. But I seriously, selective mutism I can explain, polyvagal theory, and complete as well, because the kids are in there. They understand language. I can type and use all the assistive tech. The neck is the Park Place boardwalk of the human body. And there's a lot going on in here. And if we focus on how the toxic air coming in the nose and mouth might be affecting all of this stuff, we've got huge possible quality of life solutions. So this has been Zenzi. The production's obviously going on, and let's see if it's a oh, I'm gonna run out of ramp. But there's the sunset over Zenzile Londolozi. Harmony, Zenzi.